GCF means greatest common factor. So remember back in grade school when you were asked, we have 12 and 16. What is the GCF of 12 and 16? That is our greatest common factor. The factors of 12 are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Then the factors of 16 is 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. So our greatest common factor, we have 2 and 2, those are common factors, and 4 and 4 are common factors. The greatest common factor, which we call our GCF, is going to be 4. Now, what if we had this scenario here where we are using x's? For example, we had a 3x squared plus 9x. My greatest common factor, first we are going to look at our coefficients. So between 3 and 9, our greatest common factor is a 3. Next, we're looking at our x. And when we have x squared, that means we have 2 x's, and an x, we just have 1 x. So our greatest common factor here is going to be x. This gives us 3x times something plus or minus another number. So what we are going to think in our heads, 3x times what number gives us a 3x squared? 3 times x gives me a 3x squared. Next, I'm going to think 3x times what gives me a 9x. 3x times a positive 3 gives me 9x. So you can think of this as, well, the opposite of distribution. So we are undistributing or doing reverse distribution. Because when we do distribution, we would take this 3x and we would multiply by x, and we would multiply by 3 to get a product of 3x squared plus 9x. So on our right side, this is what we call our product. This is what happens when we distribute. And on our left side, this is going to be our factor. So let's go over a few examples. Over here, we were asked to find the GCF of A through F. So if I'm looking at A, we have 1x, and then we have an x squared, which is the same as x times x. Our greatest common factor is they have an x in common. Next, if I am looking at B, we have x squared and x cubed. That means we have 2 x's or we have 3 x's. Our greatest common factor is going to be x squared. And then if you look from C all the way through F, you are going to think what do they have in common? So let me do one more example over here. What if we had a 2x minus 4? My GCF would be 2. So this would become 2 times x minus 2. And what I want you to know is these two expressions, they are the same. 2x minus 4 is equal to 2 times the quantity of x minus 2.